Well, hello everybody. I am Jay Leonard J, and you might be wondering why I'm holding water instead of a guitar today. The reason why is I'm going to show you exactly how I film my YouTube videos. Well, I had a challenge extended to me to make a video on how I make my videos, so you guys can see a little bit about what my workflow is and exactly how much love and time comes into every single video that you get to see on the page. This is going to be a lot of talking, but for all of you budding YouTubers, guitar players that want to start doing YouTube, you get a little bit of an idea of exactly what my workflow is. So I thought the best way to do it was actually to have you with me while I filmed one of my videos. This is my 1965 Deluxe amp. I'm making a video about it right now, and it's already been posted. So if you want to see how that video turned out, please check it out after, I guess, you watch this video. Before I get into the process a little bit, you might notice for the longtime subscribers that my background is a little bit different. This is my recording space. This is where I record and rehearse and do stuff. But most of my demos are actually filmed in my home studio. But my home studio is being renovated right now. So I've been filming a bunch of stuff here, and the process is pretty much the same. A couple tweaks here and there, but at least you get to see what the process is nevertheless. The way the demos work is I'll get the product in the mail and I will talk to the builder or the people associated with it to get an idea of exactly what it is, what they're going for. Sometimes I find that it's easier to do a demo for a pedal when you actually really know what it was intended for. I take the pedal out for a little bit. I like to play a couple gigs with it or use it in a recording session or something just to get an idea of how it works in a practical sense. Most of my demos aren't really the play and then turn knobs and figure it out as I go along. I do like to give you guys presets, especially for people that buy the pedal, so you get an idea of how to get some quick and easy sounds pretty quickly. And after I figure out what sounds I like on it, I make a script. So I guess this is my script for this one. And it's not really so much a script as it is a bunch of bullet points on what I want to talk about and facts and stuff that I could insight into the video, because I'm going to forget if I don't write it down. So that's pretty much it. After I got that all figured out, I'm ready to film. All right, so I guess this is the tour portion of the video. Let's get to work. I'll show you exactly what it looks like behind the camera. Here we go. So this might be the view you're pretty much used to seeing when I do the videos. Let's go back up and see exactly what it looks like from far away here. Ooh, here we go. And this is pretty much the recording space. Let's go look into what I'm shooting with. This is a GH4 Panasonic camera. I only have one lens for it. It's a 12 to 35 millimeter. The other camera I shoot with is this one over here. This is a Sony A7S camera, and all the lenses are fixed lenses from the 70s and 80s I stole from my dad. So this is a zoom / macro lens that I use for all my close-up stuff. I also have a, what do you call it, a 28 millimeter and a 50 millimeter that I use with this. So first thing I do when I get ready to film these videos is I have to get the lighting all set up. So what I do is I get this guy over here. This is Fake Jay. I get Fake Jay to sit in that chair, and I set up these lights around him. I got 3 lights, 1, 2, 3. They're LEDs that I got on Amazon.com. And really cheap, but they look pretty good. The audio recording area is actually upstairs, and I hate going up and down the stairs, so we made it so it's as easy to set up as possible. And that is through this patch bay right over here. That's my Sennheiser AVX. This is my wireless lav receiver, which is great. And then this is gonna go into my guitar amp microphone. As this one over here, it's the Cascade Fathead 2. I got sent it by Robert Keeley, and God bless him, because I really love that thing. Great if you only have one instrument in the song. It fills a lot of space. I was also playing with this one over here. This is a Sennheiser 906, which also sounds very, very good. Great for live music and great in a band. And the way I'm able to monitor the audio is through this thing over here, which is our power play unit. So I have my playback. It's kind of like an AVM thing. We use it for recording, and I use it for the demos as well. And over here, I hate using that computer, as I said, so what I did is I mirrored the monitor into this monitor here. So it's done wirelessly, so I can see exactly what's going on. I have a wireless keyboard and mouse that I'm using, and then I can monitor here, so I can control all the stuff in the control room from downstairs, which makes my life so much easier. So I guess let's go upstairs and see what's going on. Ooh, here we go. As you can tell, the vast majority of the time spent is actually setting up everything, setting up the lights, setting up the camera, setting up the audio to make it sound as good as possible. But I really do think it's worth it, you know, when you see the final thing. So over here is our overdub booth. Typically what I'll do is, instead of having the amp on the floor, I'll run a speaker level out into that room and put the cabinet in there so it's not as loud. But since we're doing a demo for an amp, I decided to have an amp on the floor. Over here is something I have never done until today, but I think I'm gonna do it pretty much from now on because I think it's gonna sound really good. This is an AKG 414, and I have it pointed overhead, and I'm gonna use this as a reverb / room ambient mic. So instead of using a plug-in or something like that, a spring reverb outboard gear to get my reverb sounds, I'm going to use this to get a more natural sound. I think it's going to sound really cool. Let's go in here. This is our kitchen / monitoring room, I guess. Still a work in progress, as you can tell. Is our computer. I have one of these in here, and I have one of these in the home studio. They're pretty much the same, only the one at the home studio is more beefed up. Xeon 6-core processor, 3.5 on both. This one has a, I think I forgot, a K1200 GPU. The one at home has a 1070 Ti. This one has 16 gigs of RAM, and the one at home has 48. And the reason why is because this is pretty much only for recording audio, whereas the one at home is for audio and video, so it's a little bit more beefed up. Over here is my dongle with my Cubase license and my plugin, my iLock. So I do pay for my plugins. Thank you very much. Over here is the brain here, the UFX. This is pretty much what we're using to record everything. I don't use these preamps when I'm recording YouTube videos. I just use the built-in ones at the UFX. And the reason why is so I don't have to go up and down the stairs to adjust these knobs. I can just do it digitally via the computer. And pretty much once we have everything patched in, I will sit in that chair and pretty much start recording the demo. And then once I get a sound and everything that I'm happy with, I will tear down all the lights and everything and start again and shoot that B-roll. So let's go shoot some B-roll. All the sound equipment has been put away. All the lights have been reorganized. I got my A7S to shoot all the B-roll, and pretty much I'm gonna start shooting all the close-ups, miscellaneous shots, things I've forgotten about. Once that's all done, I put everything away, close up shop, and start again tomorrow with the post-production. All right, so it is the next day. I'm on my home computer, and you can tell I've already uploaded all the footage that we shot onto the computer. I keep all the footage on a separate drive than my OS and everything, just to make everything a little snappier and quicker to edit. For this video, I decided to start with the Cubase project. So you can see this is what we filmed yesterday, and as I was filming, I was just labeling all the good takes, all the stuff that I want to use for my final cut. Now, usually, I would actually do all my audio editing after I'm finished editing the video, but since this is such a straightforward video, I figured I'll just do it right now and save myself the trouble of doing it later. So this is my lav mic over here. I put a little deverberate just to get some of the room sound out of there. I wasn't too aggressive with it, just enough to clear up the voice a little bit. I also added my compressor on there, pretty low ratio, pretty fast, just really to get the peaks out. On the guitar track, I wanted to keep things pretty straightforward, so I just did a cut at 80 hertz and another high cut at about 8K, I think it is. Pretty much the guitar is not really making any sound there, so it's just getting rid of some of the extra room noise and muck around that's gonna distract from what the guitar should sound like. On the room mic, I did a little bit more cuts there. You can see I got rid of a lot of the low end. just keep the top end. It's really more of a reverb track, so I just wanted a little airiness in the tone. There's not much of it in there. Finally, on the big stereo out, I put a little converter to go from 24 bits to 16 because that's what YouTube wants to hear. And finally, I put a limiter on there. I just used it to gently compress the sound instead of having YouTube do it, which doesn't really sound as good in my opinion. Now you'll notice over here, I actually cut out my vocal mic when I play guitar, and I cut my guitar mic when I'm talking. It gets rid of a lot of the extra sound, and it makes everything really feel a lot better. Now, I've also experimented with using sidechain compression instead of this cutting method, but I find the results to be not quite as reliable all the time. So take the extra time, cut it up this way. It's a lot more work, but I really do feel like the results make it all worthwhile. If I'm in a hurry, I definitely will use the sidechain though. And when all of that is done, I will export all of these little sections individually, which I already did ahead of time for you. Let's just import all the footage into my Premiere project. I got my B-roll, my Cam 1, Cam 2, and my audio. I'll just select everything and just import it in. Okay, so to start my sequence, I just grab all my Cam 1 footage, all of that stuff, good takes and bad, just throw it into a sequence. I'll grab my Cam 2 footage, throw it in there as well. And last but not least, all of my audio stuff, stick it right there in the bottom. Now, when you back up, you can see that I have a lot of stuff there, a lot of takes that I'm not using, a lot of gunk, and the bigger the project, the crazier it gets. So instead of manually syncing everything, I'll just save myself a lot of trouble and open up Pluralize and press the little button over here, and it will just synchronize this entire sequence for me, which saves me a lot of trouble. And just like that, the whole sequence is sunk up. I know what the good takes are, and I can just start cutting. The video is done. Took a couple hours and a lot of work. I think it turned out awesome. It's looking about 12 minutes, perfect length. So let's look at some of the things that I did to this project. This adjustment layer right over here is my color grade. So there's it raw, and this is the color grade. Now, the thing about me is I'm actually very, very colorblind. So I rely on these scopes and graphs to help me get the grade. It looks great to me, and I hope it looks good to you too. This section here, you'll notice the volume's a little bit lower here. The reason why is because I forgot to record the audio when I was in the studio. So I just recorded it in this room and added some B-roll on top to hide the fact that I didn't do it live. Over here, you'll see my multicam footage. This is the section where I'm actually playing the amp. So it looks great. I have 3 different angles here. I got a close-up of the amp, a close-up of my hands, and a close-up of my body. Once I'm done the cut, I'll export everything, H.264, pretty much standard stuff, high quality. While it's rendering and everything, I'll start doing the titles. Yes, there are titles, and man, I'll tell you, after all those hours of work, the title is the last thing I want to do, but you know what? It's part of the job, and it really brings some attention to the video. I take some screenshots from the video when I put it all together, and this is a new little template I put together, and I think it looks pretty good. So it's a brand new kind of template. I'll try it for the year, and hopefully people like it and they'll catch on. Now, once that's taken care of and the video's been rendered, I'll send the demo out to the demo teams to make sure that I pronounce everything correctly and I didn't spell anything wrong or I didn't say a bad fact. I would hate to do something like that. And once I get the okay, I'll pretty much send it on YouTube, post it up for all of you guys to watch, give all your comments and enjoy. So that's pretty much how I make these videos from start to finish. And just like that, that's how I make a video. It's a lot of work, but it really makes it worth it when I read the great comments that you guys have to write, and I get the great insight from all of you. So please keep commenting, please keep subscribing and getting the notifications, ringing the bell icon and writing. It really means a lot, and it makes this whole process so so worth it. So my question for all the subscribers today is, if you have anything you want me to make a video on, anything that's on your mind that you're interested about, please let me know and let's see if we can come up with a video about it for you. That being said, I will see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.